Mitsubishi, no Toyota, and no Lexus. But I'm not playing Forza anymore, am I? I'm annoyed. Oh, and by the way, here's some gameplay. I'm annoyed at the fact that these manufacturers keep doing this. Why? Oh, why are you doing this? We know as to why Toyota is not in the game. And Toyota hasn't been in a few games for the past while. And the reason for that, do we want to know why? They think that if we drive Toyota cars in a game, we won't want to buy Toyota cars because we've already tried them in a game. That to me is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard of, because the reason I like the Supra, the reason I like a lot of cars, which I've explained a million times before, pretty obvious, is because I've played them in games. I saw them in movies. I saw them and I wanted them. This is very clearly just a move from a lot of older PR people that don't quite understand the concept of how this is supposed to work. What I don't understand is, okay, so people playing games aren't gonna buy Toyota cars because they've already experienced them. If that's the case, why did I buy an RCF? I bought an RCF, I played it, I liked it, and then in the back of my head, I was like, you know what? I enjoyed playing this car on a video. I'm actually gonna put some money down on this car because I know it's gonna be good. I've experienced it in a game. That's why I bought it. If I had never seen that Lexus in a game, I wouldn't have known it existed. Literally, I did not know it existed until it came out as a DLC car on Horizon 2 or 3. I can't remember. So I'm living proof, Toyota, that this needs to be done. You're coming out with a new Supra. Love it or hate it, it's a new Supra. I'm excited for it. I want to know more about it. I want to drive it. The actual concept version's in Gran Turismo, but they're not going to release the main car because it's going to be a road car. For some reason, they release race cars, but not road cars. Somehow it's like different PR people. It just doesn't make sense. So you don't want people to drive your cars, but to me, it doesn't make sense to then make race car versions of your cars, because people then may see how they perform. Oh no, you want to buy a Toyota? No, you can't buy a Toyota because then people will see what it looks like on the road. How dare they have this pleasure of looking at your car when they have to purchase car? They must purchase car to know what a car is. Okay, I'm getting a bit silly. But for those that don't know, this is the leaked gameplay. You may have already seen it. I haven't shown it on the channel. This is the first time I'm showing this gameplay. I think it's pretty sweet. There's a few bits in here. Nothing really to write home about. Just a few using of different cars in free roam and a few dabs and dances. Pretty standard Forza gameplay that you're going to see post the game releasing. Actually, it's the end of this month, which is pretty crazy, actually. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Theo, don't blame Forza. We all know this. Everybody knows this. In response to every tweet that's made about this, people are like, well, the reason... That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Babble, because I've heard it a million times. We know that's why. You don't have to re-explain it. Everybody knows now. It's not the game, it's the manufacturer. Usually, it's the manufacturer just in general. In the past, it was when the manufacturer doesn't want to work with this company. Like, for example, Need for Speed and Ferrari. Ferrari didn't want to work with Need for Speed because they didn't want modifications done to the car. Then they were like, Forza, you can have a body kit. And then Need for Speed is like, what are you doing? Well, I imagine now Need for Speed will probably get Ferrari at some point. Is it already got? I can't remember. I don't use Ferraris in Need for Speed. But that's Toyota and Lexus. Now, this game's manufacturer that's decided to drop out is Mitsubishi, which is really annoying because literally I have been for the past ages looking at different types of Evo because I'm interested in getting an Evo at some point. I would like to experience an Evo even for a short while. And I would have loved to try it on the UK roads in Forza Horizon 4. But unfortunately, they decided, you know what? No. Ain't happening, boyo. And I'm like, please. Look, it would have solidified my purchase. And you know, like, sure, right? You wouldn't get any money from me buying a pre-used Evo. Because let's face it, am I going to buy a new Mitsubishi? What have you got? I don't think there's one Mitsubishi that's released in the past, I don't know how long, that I have been interested in. But hey, you can always make a nicer performance car. Usually, each manufacturer has at least one or two performance cars. Even the not so... I mean, Vauxhall make a bloody VXR and people love it. People adore that bloody thing. On the Forza blog, they made a little statement as to why Mitsubishi, you know, to cover some ground. One absence from the above list is Mitsubishi. While our teams work hard to license hundreds of brands for Forza games, we can't always align our fans' desires with the interests of every licensor, as in the case here with Mitsubishi. And as a result, we're unable to include Mitsubishi cars in Forza Horizon 4. It's like, I know they have to explain that it's not our fault because it isn't their fault. I doubt it's their fault, because Forza, let's face it, what is wrong? Why would you not put Mitsubishi in Forza? What in the slightest is bad about Forza? In the past, we've talked about Need for Speed, possibly some manufacturers not liking the fact that their cars can be chased by police. I somewhat get it, especially with it's like Ferrari or like something like that. Some brands are more uptight than others. It's just kind of all over the place. Need for Speed also has customization. You can do a lot to the cars that manufacturers, Ferrari especially, will not want you to do ever. Even if you buy an actual one, they will steal it back from you like they did deadmau5's car, which is honestly quite crazy. But Forza? Forza's like the safest game ever. Forza is the genuine definition of the safest racing game ever. Like, it literally follows every single rule. There's no police chases. There's not even street racing, proper street racing. It's racing on a closed course with no traffic. There's no illegal element to the game whatsoever. All you can do is to swap engines and stuff, all this kind of thing. You can swap engines, but they don't actually say swapping the actual manufacturer's engines in. It just says a generic V6, a generic V8, a generic V12. We all know what it is, but safe. I'm pretty sure if it came to the fact of engine swaps being an issue, they would have just not had engine swaps on those vehicles. Very clear to me, that's how it would be. It's just weird to me, because these same manufacturers then decide that they give their licensing and licensee-ness to model car makers, so that, oh, this kid, he bought a model Mitsubishi. That must mean he will never buy an actual Mitsubishi. How dare he experience the way the car turns on those tight, because he bought an RC car Mitsubishi. You bought a poster? You bought a poster? You are never buying a Mitsubishi, are you? We are going to stop selling posters, stop RC cars. We are going to stop every form of actually possibly looking at one of these cars ever, because the only reason I can think of, they don't make those cars anymore, and they want to sell their new cars. And when the game developers are like, no, we don't really want your SUV, thank you very much, because we don't want that piece of rubbish in the game. I don't care about your family crossover in a Forza game. Sure, some of them are nice, some of them are cool. We'll have the cool ones, thanks. Give us an X6. I'd say that's a crossover. It's a bit of a weird coupey thing, but nonetheless, it's a cool one. Why in God would you decide that, oh yes, we will remove these because people will just buy these cars? Yes, they'll buy these cars, but have you not heard of the fact that people like brands? For example, my dad bought a used Lexus, okay, an LS 400 I think it was, and adored it, loved it. He still got it serviced at Lexus, so they still scourged him out of money as they do, and he now has another Lexus. I have got a Lexus, I've had a Lexus, I'm probably gonna buy another Lexus, all because why? My dad had a Lexus, and I played those cars in games. I experienced them in games, and then I thought, yes, I've experienced them. I'm going to buy these because they're enjoyable. I love these cars. This is like, it just frustrates me. I don't understand the logic behind it. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if we come down to a point where manufacturers only allow new cars in their games. How dare you? How dare you want our old cars in the game? They will show our past inconveniences. How dare BMW's like, no, you will not have the original BMWs in the game because they will break down in the game. And they're like, no, you don't understand, it's a game, they won't actually break. No, how dare you? Audi TT Mark 1, just so you know, actually attempted to kill me. Maybe this is what almost killed Comedy Shorts Gamer, because the traction control decided, there's probably some loose connection or something, to be fair, but the fact is, the traction control decided to break when I was driving, and it made the car go crazy. I could have died, but I was saving that for a clickbait video. I can't do that now. It just boggles the mind to me that they're doing this. Like, for example, what I don't understand is in movies they can get away with a lot more. There's a lot less issues. If you use a car in a movie, I think you just got to remove the badge and you're fine. And there's a lot of specific rules for movies and specific rules for games. They have to get a lot more manufacturer approval for games, which makes sense because, you know, they're putting their cars, they've got to scan them and whatever into the game. But then with movies, they can trash them and destroy them and blow them up. But in games, we're not allowed to deform the chassis on any cars. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But anyway, that is what I wanted to talk about today. In other news, the full car list has been released. Which is one of the main points I was meant to make in this video, but there's a link down below in the description to the Nomad site, and there's the full list. A couple of picks from there for me. I've already mentioned the Peel P50, and it's also the Mercedes-Benz Unimog. Unimog. It's insane. It's a big truck. You've seen pictures of it. It looks pretty sweet. And also the racing trucks, I'm glad they're actually in an open world Horizon game. But as for the car list in general, my personal opinion on the car list, it's a Forza car list. It has everything you want and everything you don't really care about, which is good, except Mitsubishi and Lexus and Toyota. We have Volkswagen though, they're back. It's a really weird thing for them. I swear, these manufacturers just slipping on out because of emissions stuff. Are they being preparing for the war? I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, actually, one thing, please, Forza, add the VW Up GTI. Yes! Do it! Smash like, subscribe if you are new, and let me know down in the comments what you think these manufacturers are freaking doing, because the next Need for Speed might not have the Supra again, might not have the new Supra, which to me would be a big miss. It would be a reason for me to get one. It would be like, yes, good. I can customize, I can see what it's like. It's just beyond me. Until next time, peace.